In his speech during Inter-Parliamentary Union Conference, the Prime Minister said, "It is a matter of great pleasure that the Conference of the Inter-Parliamentary Union returns to India after a gap of nearly a quarter century. We feel privileged to host the conference, which has steadfastly remained a forum of international cooperation. India's unshakable commitment to the parliamentary system, staunch belief in the efficacy of democratic political processes, and deep faith in peace and coexistence as worthy principles of international relations translate naturally into a full commitment to this conference. I extend to you all a very warm and healthy welcome. In a world where every channel of cooperative action is important, it is particularly incumbent upon us to strengthen bold and valued associations. This conference stands as a proud symbol of such cooperation. Dating back a century and more, over these turbulent and epoch-making decades, it has remained a force making for mutual understanding and cohesion. That indeed is a cause for rejoicing and hope. This conference carries the voice of the people across national boundaries and on to a common international forum. The collective voice of the people, as expressed through their parliaments, is an enduring force indeed. This is the significance of this August gathering at the people's level. As votaries of the representative system of government, we are aware that a political system derives substance and legitimacy from the people. The system must therefore genuinely reflect their aspirations, concerns, and continuing needs. These are often conditioned by the international environment and thus have international ramifications. Therefore, it is imperative that representative institutions do not remain insular or that in their own perceived national interest, those elected to power do not remain isolated from fast changes in the world at large. When representative institutions from as many as 116 countries from an international union, we can readily see that such an organization is uniquely placed to play a significant role on behalf of a very substantial section of world population. History has emphasized that the greatest good can come from strengthening international cooperation. Interdependence becomes more and more real and compelling with every passing day. More than ever before, economic and ecological security have become matters that transcend national boundaries. Yet, notwithstanding the many signs of human progress, our generation and this century have been a witness to horrors of war, disease, famine, and degradation. We are not far away from the 21st century. Many experts feel that we may also not be too far removed from the brink of the final abyss. This is admittedly a somber scenario, but perhaps it will bring into sharper focus the responsibility that we as parliamentarians share. This conference has a large membership of countries, not all of which have exactly the same political system, but the adherence to the principles of democratic functioning is beyond question. Similarly, the problems that nations have to contend with may differ in specific terms. Our national achievements are often a mixed bag of pressing problems, unforeseen crises, temporary setbacks, as well as heartening success. But no one can deny that the quest for a peaceful world is and must be a shared concern of all nations. As protagonists in contemporary history, let us all venture for a fresh beginning, using this forum of the Inter-Parliamentary Union not only for theoretical reasoning on the future but more urgently for practical action today, as our solemn duty of making every honest effort for a better world. The road to a peaceful and stable future of the world can only be traversed through cooperation which recognizes equally among nations, big or small, rich or poor, and pledges them to respect the sovereignty of each. We cannot go wrong if we make coexistence and peace our watchword and common universal good our objective. I appeal you to use this conference as an occasion for holistic and integrated thinking and action on common problems of the world. The nation of oneness is a timeless one and has been an important element in Indian philosophy and thought. Our most ancient scriptures have enunciated that the human race is one and consists of all human beings. Implicit in this is the whole philosophy of humanism, understood in the West as freedom and fundamental unity of humankind. I understand that the agenda for this conference includes a broad range of subjects that touch on crucial aspects of political, social, and economic lives of people and nations. I am happy to see that problems relating to gender inequality, health, and well being of the elderly are going to be taken up. Equally urgent is the need to counter the growing use of violence for political ends as well as to design policies which will foster greater respect for democratic values. May we use this opportunity and the collective wisdom of all the distinguished participants to strike a note of real hope for the well being of humankind. Even while we are dealing with such momentous topics, it may not be out of place to remind ourselves that a parliament can only be as useful and collective as its members choose to make it. Laws can be passed and business transacted, but the manner in which this is done is extremely important to the people. The method of utilizing parliament's time to the best advantage, including the education of people, needs to be constantly borne in mind because parliament above everything else is a great educator by itself. In any event, parliament's proceedings should always be relevant to the lives of the people. Let me remind you once again that we have embarked on a journey into a momentous decade. The 1990s will truly be the watershed years in global affairs in the realm of political, economic, and environmental challenges and changes. Let me also once again thank you for gathering here in New Delhi, the capital of India, a peace-loving country. On behalf of the Indian citizens and on behalf of all the peace-loving peoples of the world, I welcome you and I take this opportunity to wish you all a happy and memorable stay in our country and wish the conference every success. Thanks to one and all.